All right, brother. Here comes the pain. It's time to talk about the alpha male of our species,
Mm.
the most decorated fighter in sports today or ever of all time. Yeah, this guy, what can you say about Brock Lesnar that hasn't already been said? No. He is one of the top prospects of all time. He was recruited very early in his life. Okay, first and foremost, born Webster, South Dakota, which is hilarious because he has spent most of his life in, well, not most, from South Dakota to Minnesota, from Minnesota to obviously WWE around the world, but he has pretty much spent most of his life in Saskatoon, Canada, for like mad long.
Mm.
And I can sit here and run all this down, and I will, because I have a hell of a story about Brock Lesnar. It's a quick story, but it's a career highlight for me. But born Webster, South Carolina, I love the description: farm built strength and freak genetics. He became an amateur wrestler for the University of Minnesota. He was the 2000 NCAA Heavyweight Champion. He had a career record in collegiate wrestling of 106-5.
Damn.
Can I shake the hand of the five who pulled that shit the fuck off? I know one of them is Shelton Benjamin.
No
I
shit.
know I know one of them. Yeah, they were teammates, but yeah, at the time, one of them was Shelton was actually his mentor in Minnesota, which is hilarious when you figure that they ended up becoming a tag team. We'll get to that in a second. After his college career was over, pretty much signed by WWE right out of the gate. In 2000, they dragged him into pro wrestling. He became part of the OVW's legendary class alongside John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton. During that OVW run is where he was in a tag team with Shelton Benjamin. They were called the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. And they were pretty. That was when Lesnar was doing the shooting star press
Yeah.
as a finish. That big ass motherfucker was hitting shooting star presses. And then you get a guy like, if you really think about it, on paper, Lesnar and Benjamin as a tag team, crazy. I don't know why they didn't do more with that. They didn't even debut as a tag team.
It's a lot of power, that's for sure.
Uh, he debuted on WWE television in March 2002, touted as the next big thing by his manager at the time, Mr. Paul Heyman. He won the WWE Championship right out of the gate. This actually skipped something. He made his debut the Raw after WrestleMania, which was in April. Now I'm going based off of memory. I'm not reading the sheet anymore.
Mm.
The Raw after WrestleMania, he made his debut, beating the teetotal fuck out of quite a few people and damn near ending the career of Spike Dudley with that triple powerbomb. And immediately just looked like a goddamn beast. He took that crazy ass chair shot from Jeff Hardy. His first feud on the main roster was him against a tag team. He feuded with the Hardys in a
With both
2-on-1
with
situation.
both of them.
Yeah, he was the rookie, and here comes the one of the most
Hey,
established tag teams in history. And I think he won the feud. I think he lost the match, but he like beat the shit out of all of them. And he ended up the very next month. So he debuted in April. The Was it May? I think it was May was when he fought the Hardys, and then he won King of the Ring,
mm.
defeating Rob Van Dam in the finals, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, and then he didn't win the Intercontinental title, but he won the King of the Ring, and then he beat The Rock at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. That was his first 5 months, roughly 4 months,
Jeez.
4 months in WWE, defeating the Hardys in a dominating fashion, defeating Rob Van Dam for the King of the Ring, and defeating The Rock in the main event of SummerSlam for the WWE title. He followed that win against The Rock by feuding with The Undertaker and defeating Taker in a Hell in a Cell. This is first year, folks. This is year one. followed that feud by picking the Big Show up like he weighed absolutely nothing and tossing his ass around for about 2 months. He would also go on, obviously, to have classics with Kurt Angle, but he had a very short time in the WWE. Debuted in 2002, left in 2004 to pursue NFL dreams. Decided to go to the training camp for the Minnesota Vikings. Almost made the team, but not quite. He went back to wrestling, competing in Japan for New Japan, and became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Actually feuded with Kurt over that title, too, over in Japan. Established himself as a global combat sports attraction. Is hilarious. Signed with UFC in 2008.
Hold on. Let's slow down there for a second because it's. I tried to let it go, but it's sitting with me.
Okay.
For someone who is so sick, like I couldn't see this man failing.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him not make the team,
right,
is interesting. Do we know what position he was going for? Or was it was like a blanket thing where like he was just like a combine and then they were gonna like figure out where he was best at? Because I can imagine him being disgusting on the line, being as powerful as he is. I don't know if he's a cat. He doesn't really look like a runner to me. Maybe that was his weakness. Like I don't think he have a lot of speed.
Well, here's the thing.
Fullbacks were a thing back then, right? He could have definitely been a fullback.
So it's listed here. He was listed as a defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know. Like, is he fast?
Oh yeah. He
looks a little.
It says here, despite not having played in high school, the coaches for the Vikings were impressed with his athleticism and training camp. He played in the preseason for them, but was ultimately cut before the regular season, with one of the reasons being cited that he had an difficulty transitioning into the team aspect. And I'm going to safely assume the schemes, the playbook, the memorization, that's not him. Football is a physical. Yeah,
can you just let me go on the line and kill the quarterback? I don't need a route. I'm going to get there. Just put me on the line.
Football is a very physical sport, but it's a mental one. You got to know where you're supposed to be at all times. There's 11 guys on that side. It's not just you. If you look at his individual, if you look at his individual sport qualifications, he succeeds a lot better when it's just him.
Yeah.
When it's just him.
I just found that interesting. Like, I don't see a world where
I don't think enough people
fail
actually
anything.
Yeah. But. Yeah, it's hard to think that we used something physical activity that he didn't do well, but according to the reports that they had about him, they actually were very impressed with his physical ability. It's just the other aspects of the game that just didn't catch on to it. I already said IW. I could do it if he could do it, I could do it. The IWGP Championship, I already said that. Signed with UFC in 2008. That was a shock at the time. That was a clear blue shock to a lot of people. I just noticed that tile's been behind me this entire time. But his signing with UFC was actually very, very
that
shocking
makes
for a lot
more
of people.
sense to me than
the football.
Yeah,
it does to some
100%.
degree. But the problem I think a lot of people had wrapping their mind around him in MMA was that while he was a very successful collegiate wrestler, it's not like he didn't have any combat experience. It was the other aspect. This isn't tough man UFC. This isn't bare knuckle Ken Shamrock, late 90s UFC. This is current UFC. This is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is stand-up boxing. There's more aspects. There's more layers to this UFC. So people were like, no fucking way. And then he challenges.
A lot more rock, paper, scissors than just stand up, right? Because you could be a great stand-up, but go against someone who has great ground and pound. So if you can still win, but you gotta keep him on his feet, because if he gets you on the ground, you are out. So it's very rock, paper, scissors, depending on who you're going up against and stuff like that. So
it also seemed like a long shot for his success when he challenged Randy Couture right out of the gate for the UFC heavyweight title, which was seen at the time as a tremendous mismatch. It's Randy Couture. Everybody was like, but it's Randy. Like, he's a beast. Brock's a beast. Even the pundits of that time, if you go back to 2008, even Joe Rogan, Dana White, all those guys were like, okay, yeah. Because I remember them saying, I know that he's a former WWE guy, but he's a legit guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't just sign him because we want to capitalize on the WWE thing. Like, he has legit skills and has a resume of some kind. He just needs to be trained on the style and he should be able to fit. And then he goes out there and he beats Randy Couture and becomes UFC Heavyweight Champion of the world and proceeds to continue that particular fight, one of the biggest pay-per-view draws in MMA history to this day. And if it wasn't for diverticulitis that happened to him getting sick and having his intestines all fucking swole, who knows how much farther he would have gone in MMA. And let it never be said that the reason why he left MMA is because wrestling was a lot easier on his body than the fucking MMA shit was. So he came back to fucking WWE and had another run. And he's going to go down in history because they ran the numbers. I don't actually have the numbers in front of me. I wish I still had that picture. They ran the numbers where they were like, his first year he had like 50 matches. And then in 2002, when he went to the main roster, he had like 144 matches or something like that. And then like as the years went on, it was like for a whole year, he would have like 6 matches, 4 matches, 8 matches, 6 matches, saved his body. And he was able to last a lot longer than we had assumed that he would. But he's been very protective. And he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers to have the fewest matches. Just collectively over a long history of career, he doesn't have a lot of matches. And they're all main events. They're all bloody draws.
He has quite a few quick matches in there too, doesn't he? Like his matches don't usually go very long.
No, some of the longest matches that he had, to be honest with you, were matches that he had like with his friends, like Punk. Like Punk gave him, I think him and Punk put in 20 minutes, and him and Taker, I think, would put in some time. But yeah, the match with like Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, those were like what 8-9 minutes. Suplex City, bitch. That's all that it takes. Like him and Triple H went 20 minutes. I'm sure I was in the building. It felt like an hour, but it was definitely had to be like around 18-20 minutes for sure. So it was very specific who he did that with. To this day, the only man to be the NCAA Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, IWGP Champion, and UFC Heavyweight Champion. He has those accolades on the amateur level, on the professional level, and on the MMA level. And brings us, despite all, and we're not going to go chapter and verse for the whole run, Universal Champion for a million years, which was the reason why we had to eventually like make a whole other belt to get it off of him. They ended up doing the same thing with Roman, made a whole other belt. This guy was a freak athlete. The next big thing, he was always being touted as a special guy. Do you have any standout memories of Brock Lesnar throughout the course of his career?
I mean, my memory is bad, dude. I can't point out anything specific. I think I made mention to this before, honestly. I just feel like his career was so fucking long. You said he got signed. Hold on. I got like a sneeze, dude. It's like right there. All right. You said he got signed in 2000, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, that's 2 years in WWE, and it's one of those. He's one of those guys that I just always forget how long he's been in the game. So every time I see him, I'm like, I don't know why I always think of him being there like around 2015-ish, 2000. Like, I don't know. I know I'm completely wrong, but if for some reason when I see videos and clips of like older wrestling with Kurt Angle, with The Rock, all that stuff, I'm like, damn, I don't remember. For some reason, I just don't really always remember that, but I'm more of a casual fan anyway, right? So that makes more sense for me. I'm on and off. I've actually, these past few years, has been the most consistent I've been with wrestling in my whole life. And I lived with you most of that time. So that should tell you something. So it's hard for me to pick out something specific with him. But again, I'll always just remember him as just being that guy. When you see him, you know he's coming in. You know he's going to cause havoc. You know he's going to sell tickets. You know what's really cool about Brock Lesnar is when you have these moments where you're driving a story, you always have this wild card that can completely shake everything up. And he's done that a few times where you think things are going one way and then Brock shows up. And now you're like, okay, wait a minute. So is Brock going to win the belt? Like, what are we doing with the storyline? Who is he going after? And how is that going to affect the storyline? So I always thought that was pretty cool with his presence and what they did with him and the way they built him up to where when he's here, it ain't going to be for a long time. He's going to deliver you something quick. You're going to be fast, high octane match. He's gonna disrupt the storyline, and then he's gonna fuck off. That's like my memory of him.
He's one of the few wrestlers to this day where anything could be happening. Anything could be happening. It doesn't matter. A promo, a match, it doesn't matter. And then you hear and everyone just oh, get that. Whatever you're doing, get out of there. Leave.
It's over.
Run away.
That storyline in the trash.
That's it. It's over. You're in trouble now, son. Imagine living in a world where you're a black WWE champion and that song hits. It's done. It's done. It's finished.
Why gotta be black? It could be any champion.
Because that's the joke. Every single African American champion who has ever existed lost the title to Brock Lesnar, and there's only been 4.
That's funny.
And The Rock, Kofi, Bobby Lashley, Big E. All 4 of them beat people to become champion and immediately dropped it to Brock Lesnar. He said, well, I see somebody won a title, son. Let's get the gear on. Let's go. It's time for us to handle business. He is from South Dakota, after all. He has had some controversies. You have this kind of a career, this long of a career, and you're bound to have some things that people are debating over. Like, for instance, Stone Cold Steve Austin walks away from the WWE at the height of his popularity, and it's all over a match he didn't agree with that match being Brock Lesnar. They were going to do a throwaway King of the Ring qualifier where Stone Cold Steve Austin would not win the qualifier. He hadn't been in a King of the Ring match in years. He's going to lose to Brock Lesnar. No build, no nothing. Didn't agree with it. Walked off. There was always an assumption that there was some heat there between Lesnar and Austin. Turns out there wasn't. They spoke about it on the Stone Cold podcast, but that was a controversial moment. Of course, the Madison Square Garden WrestleMania 20, when the whole world knew that Brock Lesnar was leaving WWE to go pursue football, and they rode his ass all night long. Fuck you, Lesnar! And then the picture of Lesnar at the end of the match, just looking at the fans and just, what a moment. Coming back, immediately losing to John Cena. The streak. Ending the streak. Boy, are we still feeling that today.
That was a big moment.
That was a
moment. In hindsight today, it worked out. But in the moment, that was one.
That was tough.
That was tough for me.
That was tough. That was a tough day at the office for a lot of people. And
it's hard, man, because you can make an argument and there are probably 1 or 2 at the top of your head, and I don't even then, man. That was such a weird moment in wrestling where you just feel like something should happen, but I feel like at the end of the day, someone had to. Dude, Taker couldn't keep doing these things. We couldn't keep waiting for the next best guy, so we did the next best thing, and it paid off eventually in my eyes. That's how I'm seeing what transpired was the passing of that torch to someone who may not have been available. Not specifically Oba, but just in general. The entity that should have taken that. But yeah, that was probably, now that you mentioned it, that is probably one of the bigger moments that I remember. Because I hated that. I hated that so bad, dude. I hated he was the one to take that.
He had a long-standing feud with Roman Reigns that led all the way to a winner-take-all match at WrestleMania, which Roman, of all the people that Lesnar has competed against over the course of his career, Roman Reigns has his motherfucking number. For whatever reason that it is, he continues to dominate the beast. That's why when Oba beat him at WrestleMania, and we'll get to that in a second, and Roman was doing the post, and everybody was like, "Oba's gonna kill you." He's like, "Hey, Oba, you had a big night. You had a big night, but I've done that many times." Acknowledge him, son. Oh, so yeah. We also have to talk about the elephant in the room. Can't do a Brock Lesnar controversial section without mentioning our old segment of the Janelle Grant case, being named in the suit by Janelle Grant against Vince McMahon. Wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't go ahead and bring that up. And just for the record, because everybody keeps bringing that up as, I don't even know why they brought him back. He's in the case. He's in this. He's in that. He's in this. We read that. He's in there, but not. I don't think it was by name.
I think he's not in it anymore. Right, like he's been cleared.
Yeah, I think he was cleared of all. Yeah, because he was been cleared of involvement, which is still not enough for people. Because court of public opinion, once they heard it, that's it. But just as a reminder, because again, if I'm going to bring it up, I'm going to bring it up. But let's bring it up. Let's talk about it for a second, because I just pulled up the case again while you were talking, because I just wanted to make sure that I was on the up and up with this. And it states here, Brock Lesnar was identified in an amended federal lawsuit by former WWE employee, amended, which means they've changed it since then, where he was named in the allegations but not listed as a defendant in the case. It says sexual trafficking incentive. Grant alleges that McMahon used her as a sexual pawn to entice Lesnar to sign a new contract with WWE. Again, that's something Vince wanted to do. That was not something Brock requested. Explicit content requests. The suit claims McMahon directed Grant to create personalized sexual content for Lesnar, which was then shared with him via McMahon. Lesnar reportedly also directly requested explicit videos from Grant. So that's the part that everyone hangs their head on. The guy likes his pee-pee. It's all right. Everybody has their stuff. It's all right. Attempted sexual encounter. McMahon alleges arranged for Lesnar to fly out to Connecticut for a sexual encounter with Grant in 2021. The meeting did not occur, reportedly because Lesnar became too intoxicated to attend, which we joked about at the time when we were saying Lesnar took one look at that picture and said, "Nah, I'm good." He said, "I'm straight. I'm going to just stay where I'm at." How about that? And so those are the facts. So if you hear that and you still go, "Nah, I'm good," then that's your decision. But WWE didn't stand on that. Their lawyers said he was good, so he's good. It is what it is. So we wouldn't be doing a job if we didn't bring it up at the very least. But that leaves us to the end of our segment when we have to bring up the last act of a beast incarnate, the Obafemi loss at WrestleMania 42, putting over the big Nigerian, putting over the big guy. I don't know if you saw on Monday, he hit Otis with that shot put where he picks up the guy and just fucking chucks him. This man is a beast among men.
Yeah, he's too strong, dude.
He put over like $1 million over with the tip of the cap, paying homage to the beast incarnate. Takes off the boots, take off the gloves. Paul Heyman is a dribbling mess. And Brock Lesnar off into the sunset and calls it a goddamn career. Listen, with everything that we're about to discuss with TKO and their involvement with WWE, let's be real. WrestleMania 38 almost didn't happen. The winner take all thing almost didn't happen because Vince was already on the way out. And his relationship with WWE, Brock Lesnar's relationship with WWE, is with Vince. When there was no Vince, it was a different ballgame. I know there was still some people backstage that he respected, Triple H, The Undertaker. It's not the same business anymore. And we're going to talk about that in depth in a second. But he probably already saw what we're about to talk about now and just said to himself, "I'm all set. and just gonna ride off into the sunset, call it a goddamn career. So better safe than sorry, I guess. So thank you to Brock Lesnar and everything that he's done.